Hello children, today we are starting fourth poem of your book. The title of this poem is Amanda, written by Robin Klein. This poem is about the issue of children's growing up and their upbringing. It highlights the struggles faced by the child. Indirectly, the poet stresses that children should not devoid of freedom and spontaneity of their natural growth. The parents have a great responsibility to bring up their children to be good citizens later. They should see that their children are unnecessarily made to feel repressed. In Amanda, her parents prepare her to be acceptable in the society by restricting her in many ways. But they do not feel that in doing so, they curtail her freedom and space. She feels this restriction so much so that she doesn't want to grow up but remain an orphan. Continuous taunting, nagging, and fault finding make her moody. Obviously, the result do not come out as desired. The moral of the poem is loud, lucid, and clear for all. So let's read the poem stanza wise. Don't bite your nails, Amanda. Don't hunch your shoulders, Amanda. Stop that slouching and sit up straight, Amanda. In this stanza, Amanda is instructed apparently by her parents not to bite her nails and sit lazily with her shoulders bent. This is a bad norm and lacks proper etiquette. The tone and tenor of the instruction of how to sit, her present sitting slouching, is not acceptable, is derogatory and insulting. Amanda is getting trained in social and personal etiquette, but the manner is highly demeaning. This implies a suggestion to parents of young girls as to how they should bring up their children, especially the girls. The stress is on making Amanda acceptable to human society, but the modus operandi is willfully strong. Her name in the end of the stanza is made to sound in the form of an exclamation as irritating or insulting. It expresses Amanda's parents' wrong methods of teaching and training her. Second one is, there is a languid emerald sea where the sole inhabitant is me, a mermaid drifting blissfully. This stanza is given in brackets and throw light on the present situation in the poem. Also, it is an imaginative escape of Amanda, who is highly sensitive and feels greatly troubled by the taunts of her parents. She escapes in imagination to her own world into the sea, which is far away from the nagging commands of her parents. This imagined world is free from any kind of restriction. There are no restraints here for Amanda. She imagines herself like a free and joyful mermaid sailing freely as she likes in the emerald waters. This world of Amanda is a blissful place where she wants to be forever. Mermaid is now a symbol of freedom and wonder for her. It implies that children in such situation act like this only. Next stanza is, did you finish your homework, Amanda? Did you tidy your room, Amanda? I thought I told you to clean your shoes, Amanda. Now, the poet brings back Amanda in her physical world again. Amanda's parents ask her if she has finished her homework and tidied her room. She is also instructed to clean her shoes. The pattern of instructions amounts to treat Amanda in a humiliating tone. It implies that Amanda doesn't care for these instructions as she feels disgusted with the nagging attitude of her parents. Equally, her parents adopt a stern tone involved in, I thought I told you to clean your shoes. The exclamation mark after her name reveals this aspect. It points to the possibility that Amanda is getting obstinate and her parents are losing their head onto her. Next stanza. I am an orphan roaming the street. I pattern soft dust with my hushed bare feet. The silence is golden, the freedom is sweet. In this stanza, we find Amanda reacting to her mother's harsh words. She withdraws into her imaginative world again. The first line, that is, I am an orphan. It expresses Amanda's helplessness and awful depression. She is greatly dejected and disappointed due to the irrational instructions of her parents, and continuous questioning simply troubles her emotionally. She has no shoes on her feet as she creates a pattern on the soft dust with her bare and hushed feet. Hushed feet means silent feet. She walks in a hushed manner which throws light on her precarious condition. She cherishes the silence and freedom to do as she likes to do. She likes to remain in her world of imagination due to the nagging instructions of her mother. She loves silence and freedom just because of her parents' yelling and crude kind of commands. Next stanza is, don't eat that chocolate, Amanda. Remember your acne, Amanda. Will you please look at me when I am speaking to you, Amanda? Now, the instructions, or rather the cold commands of Amanda's parents continue. She is asked not to eat chocolates as she will develop acne on her face. It implies care and attention towards the external appearance and its values. She is made conscious of the natural phenomenon of developing acne. This again is an indication of the value and necessity of social dispensation of life. The parents nagging in, will you please look at me when I am speaking to you, Amanda, is cruel and monstrous in the sense that is simply killing Amanda's spontaneous growth. This also expresses her parents' anger as she is scolded now. The value of appearance in the society gains more significance than the natural growth. Sixth stanza. I am Rapunzel. I have not a care. Life in a tower is tranquil and rare. I'll certainly never let down my bright hair. Here, Amanda is still in the world of her imagination. She imagines to be the long golden-haired Rapunzel who lived in a castle. She thinks that Rapunzel's life must have been very peaceful and contented while living in that high tower. But she doesn't want Rapunzel's fate that was meted out to her. She doesn't want to let down her bright hair. She seeks Rapunzel-like life far away from the life she is at present living. The inhuman treatment has sapped Amanda's inclination towards human society. She doesn't want any other person with her, as that would mean repetition of her suffering emotionally. She doesn't have any faith in the human society, and it is cruel demands on her freedom and personal space. Now, seventh and the last stanza is, stop that sulking at once, Amanda. You are always so moody, Amanda. Anyone would think that I nagged at you, Amanda. Sulking means getting bad-tempered, and nagged means teased. Amanda's parents still continue with her harsh instructions. However, Amanda still remains in her own imaginative world. The parents believe that Amanda is not reacting and that is bad. They are more worried about their impressions in society. It is clear in anyone would think that I nagged at you, Amanda. Apparently, they do not want the society to know their nagging or teased Amanda. They are worried about how the society will perceive them through Amanda's remaining in a foul mood. They are concerned with establishing a fair balance between what Amanda wants and what the society expects of her. This is a cruel situation as Amanda's parents are harming Amanda's natural growth due to the compulsions at societal level. So this is all about Amanda.